Hello YouTube and Facebook friends, Ember Tilton here again. This time we've got all the parts I ordered from Amazon and I'm ready to build my own PC. This is a workstation PC. The point of this PC is to be a reasonable law office work computer with possibly the potential for some video editing capabilities, but nothing extravagant. You see a lot of other PC builds and people go crazy and they buy the most expensive things. This is supposed to be a reasonable PC that you can build for less than what you would buy a PC in the store for, and still have top-of-the-line parts, state-of-the-art technology. So some of the things came from my old computer, because I'm going to be taking my hard drive from my old computer and moving it over, so I didn't need to buy a new optical drive, CD drive. Here I have a 3 terabyte hard disk drive and my smaller solid state drive. I think that's 128 gigabytes. I've got USB 3 that wasn't even working in my old computer because it couldn't take USB 3 with a PCIe. It wasn't express, and so that didn't work. This is an old graphics card, a GTX 550 Ti. So this is coming from the old PC, but here's where I'm making the big improvement. This is the 7th generation i7 core processor.
Open it.
Oh, and I'm going to be unboxing this stuff. So, take this out. Well, woohoo! There it is. It's an i7, $300. You don't need to do an i7. So I maybe went a little bit over the top with the i7. An i3 would have been just fine for a law office workstation. And you can get an i3 for around $100. So that probably wasn't necessary. Amazon sent me twice as much RAM as I ordered. I ordered 16 gigabytes. Again, you probably only need 8. This is Corsair Vengeance RAM. It's actually fairly cheap. Most of this, you'll notice, is Corsair. And I wanted to buy Corsair because I bought a Corsair keyboard and mouse, and the quality is just exceptional. Corsair is an American company that decided they wanted to make better quality electronics when most of the foreign companies were sort of going for as cheap as possible. They figured what they could save in shipping, maybe they could add to quality and we could have better parts made here in the US. So Corsair made this case. Corsair made this fan, which is going to glow blue. And Corsair made this RAM. And so Amazon sent me not the 2 I ordered, and you only really need 1, so that would save you some money too. This whole thing costs about $500, maybe $80, not including the used parts. But like I said, you could have saved $200 on an i3 processor instead of the i7, and there's only really need for 1 of these, which would be 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This has to be DDR4 with the motherboard and the i7. That's the type of RAM that it takes. So the RAM is too much, and I ordered 16 and I got 32. So this is not necessary. This is super overkill. It's something like driving a Corvette. You can't go 180 on the highway anywhere in the US, but you can have a Corvette. And so here's other RAM. They sent me the extra ones, and I'm like, do I have to send this back? Like, is Amazon going to be mad? Are they going to bill me? What's going on? So I look it up. Being a lawyer, figuring, maybe there's some law on it. Well, it turns out if Amazon or any mail order shipping company that sells consumer goods to consumers, not merchants, but to consumers, they send you something that you didn't pay for and order, you can keep it. And Amazon actually doesn't probably want it back because it costs them a lot to repack, test, make sure they can sell it, resell it. They have to send the packaging. It's all this administrative stuff. They have to send you a box with the prepaid packaging so you could put it in the box and drop it off in the mail. Here's the fan. And so the law says you can keep it. Amazon doesn't care. So I'm keeping it. It's a Corsair fan. The cooling fans are the large size, which is what? 120 millimeters. They're supposed to be quieter and work better for cooling than your cheap generic fans. So take a look at that.
And
what?
It's
and it glows blue. And let's see, what do we have here for attachments? We got big screws. I have somewhere some rubber attachments that are things. These are screws, but I have rubber. I don't know what you call them, rubber screws, I guess. They're not screws though; they just snap in. That I'll be using here. So that's nice. And so we'll go with the Corsair power supply. I'll open this one. This is 550 volts. No, volts. Watts. How do I get into it? I don't know how to get into these things.
I do.
Rip it. You know how? Ah! Ta-da.
Pizza box.
I guess so. And wow, that's a bunch of cords. There's the power cord. Oh man, it smells like modeling paint.
Show us the cords.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cords here. They are usually named after their pins, but there's some SATA power cords here. That's the big one. I forget how many pins that is. And then there's the PCIe 6 or 8 pin. And there's the Molex 4 pin. And yeah, just tons of stuff, which is good. I actually have some of these fancier ones. Usually these cords look plain. I don't have any plain ones to show you. This is all this sort of wrapped in what looks like Chinese finger catchers, or what are they called? The finger traps. Sort of wrapped in that to protect the cords. It's a higher quality cord than you would get in a PC from Best Buy or somewhere like that. Wow, it smells like spray paint, like it just came out of the shop. It's heavy too. Well, this is it. This is the power supply, again by Corsair. Wow. And some instructions, we don't need those. And then, last but not least, the motherboard. This is what's going to connect everything together. Oh, and the case, the Corsair case 100R. This is the cheapest case. This is $50 on Amazon. Has the glass so you can see in it. Put your fancy lights there or whatever. It's not really necessary. The important thing is it has 2 optical drives in the front, or 2 slots for optical drives in the front. USB 3. This is meant to be just a standard computer. It's not supposed to be fancy. We're not building a gaming computer here. Although I probably will play a video game or 2 on it. This is Corsair as well. And so that's that. And then the motherboard. And again, I don't know how to open these things, but I figured the last one out. So how does this go? Oh, jeez. How embarrassing. I want something sharper. Do I have anything sharper? This one here. There we go. Oh, that one comes out pretty easily. This is a gigabyte, or gigabit, depending on how you want to pronounce it, motherboard. Corsair doesn't appear to make a motherboard. Oh, there's a disc. I wonder if that's the BIOS. Byte Ultra motherboard series drivers. It's got a set of drivers with it. I've never ordered one of these or done any of this before, so this is all new to me. Wow, look at this. This is cool. There's a fancy SATA cord. I'll open that later. This comes in the static free. Ow! Someone stabbed me. What the? It's a solder on the bottom. Wow, that's cool. Ow, and another one. Geez, that thing's sharp. And so the one thing about static-free bags is they protect the components inside, but the static's on the outside, so once you take it out, you should not keep the bag around, because the bag actually has static all over it. At least that's what I'm told. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A is it $49 or $39.99 motherboard, which really isn't bad at all. So power supply $39.99, motherboard $39.99, RAM $75 roughly each, maybe more like $80 if you buy them single. I bought 2 at a time. Yeah, $75. That's a bigger expense, but there's no reason why I need to be spending thousands of dollars for a PC for regular home use or office use. The only reason you'd ever need to spend more than $1,000 for a PC would be if you're going to be playing some high-end video games or doing some kind of video editing or running some kind of sound studio. For regular office work, home use, surfing the internet, playing Netflix, anything like that, an i3, 4 gigabytes of RAM. Really, this is 8, but 4 would be enough. 8's fine. You don't need a big power supply like this, even though this one you can do 350. This is a 550. There's a 400 also. The difference in price isn't too much. And a hard drive like this, 3 terabyte hard drive, $49.99. The parts to a computer are not expensive. There's no reason to be going to Best Buy and blowing a couple months' salary on a computer. There's certainly no reason to buy an Apple. So this is real quick where the processor goes, RAM, PCI ports. Jeez, this is, oh no, it's not small. Cool. And where the stuff plugs in. Thank you for watching the unboxing. Check out my other videos. You'll see me building this. There's also videos about installing solid state hard drive into your laptop, these kind of things. Like and subscribe. Dislike if you don't like it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.